Evening, everyone. Welcome to Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind. Been a while. Yeah, I think the title pretty much will sum some of it up. Not all of it, but most of it. But, hey, for right now, what can I say? What has this world become? This is something I've written about, I don't know, 6 months ago, almost 6, 7, 8 months ago. An endless display of degradation as our world spins in an intricate dance of puppets and marionettes, an endless masquerade but on a world stage. Why have we allowed ourselves to become lab rats in some twisted freak experiment with brainwashed minds, being led like lambs before the slaughter? Can you not see through all the hate and lies? Or have you become so blind and numb, reliant on the strings that now bind you? Enslaved to those that you find amusement and pleasure as they slowly bleed you dry, till you are nothing but an empty, broken, decaying vessel that no longer has a mind of its own. What a cerebral mindfuck our world has become, a vivid nightmare that is spiraling out of control, filled with madness and despair, wannabe puppet masters who have no clue, for they are just slaves to someone else. What a tragic joke our world has become. When will society wake up and see what they have now become? One more. I wrote this one a long time ago. Hypocrite. All I hear and see is bigotry and lies, corporate adulterers selling their own souls, promising a future that is filled with illusion, hiding behind a two-way mirror and claiming to be full of morality, twisting words that they don't even know the meaning of. What the fuck? Whatever happened to freedom of speech and the right to express oneself? When did corporate greed become the new way of life, slowly taking control of what is free and not even physical material? When does society become so blind? Are you truly going to be the lambs before the slaughter, or some freak laboratory experiment with brainwashed minds? Wake the fuck up. Look before you and see what lies have been spread, all in the name of change. Since when did change come with so many strings attached? God damn, I feel like a fucking puppet on a string, swaying to all the lies and half-truths. Whatever happened to killing a person with the truth and kindness? I played the mind for long enough. Now it's time to drop a dime and watch all the greedy hypocrisies make my rhyme. For now is the time that will soon be mine. I'm not your lackey or some puppet on a string. I see through your lies and all your bigotry. 1,000 times have my songs been sung, claiming each as a soulless victim. Blinded by this so-called morality, I am the true puppet master. I control your destiny with the edge of my blade, and you will reap all that you have sown. For this is my decree and my true will. I will see you in hell, where I will dine and feast upon your pain, never more to be the victim of your lies and hypocritical ways. You know, I find it funny. You know, for me, my blade's always been my pen, my voice. I don't always speak up. Don't always speak my mind. I spend most of the time observing and watching. Well, you can only observe and watch so much before you just got to say something. I mean, come on, guys. You can't see what's really going on before you. You guys should just stop. I mean, for real. We have Black Lives Matter, Antifa, right, leftists, liberals. All these motherfuckers who don't give a flying fuck about you or me, but yet all they want to do is pit us against each other and cause division. I mean, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, half their funding comes from George Soros. Research him. Research these corporations that are putting money, these foreign corporations, mind you, that are putting money into these groups to spread hate, violence, to tell you that Sharia law has to be taught in our school systems. I still find it funny. I haven't seen, hardly none of the citizen journals out there reporting on that fact that's happening in San Diego, that's happening in other school systems. But yet, you guys rather cry, complain, because this person got elected, this person didn't. Now we have our Congress that's just going to waste all your taxpayers' dollars doing committee after committee after committee when there's no evidence. Oh, let's not talk about all the leaks that are being leaked. I mean, it's pretty sad when you have the DOJ has to come out and tell the public that to ignore any anonymous leaks that come from Congress that you hear on the news. They keep trying, because they keep turning up empty. Now they just want to go after Trump for obstruction. What did he obstruct? He did his job. Truthfully, he should remove every last one of the previous administrations that's still in position. I mean, that's what I would do. That's what common sense would tell me to do. Well, let's talk about obstruction. Well, technically, that's what Congress is doing right now. They're obstructing any type of justice. You know, they're obstructing their duty to us, we the people. We didn't put you in there to do investigation after investigation. That's already turned up empty-handed, empty-handed, empty-handed. Go do your jobs. Your jobs are bringing jobs back to America, taking care of our health care problems, taking care of our fucking vets. Not bickering amongst yourselves, not crying boo-hoo because your candidate didn't get elected. Well, you should have put a better candidate up. It's time to get rid of some of these dinosaurs like Pelosi, McCain. I mean, Pelosi, man, she has the audacity to talk about mental health issues with Trump. Anybody hear her talk lately? How many times she called Trump Bush? I mean, come on. Then we got these cities like San Francisco, New York, Chicago, and the Ninth Circuit, the federal court's Ninth Circuit, have just making a mockery of our Constitution and anything our forefathers stood for. Then we got these idiots trying to push civil unrest. Oh, we need civil war calling for revolution. You know, the revolution actually did happen. It's when the people stood up and said, we want this person as a president. We're tired of the status quo. I mean, like him or hate him, I don't quite agree with everything he does. But I got to give the man credit. He's done more in office than any other president. We've got our federal court system, the Ninth Circuit, who's violating their very oaths by obstructing our national security. And let me tell you guys something. If anything ever happens, because we can't get a travel ban on these countries, happens in the United States, you better not re-elect those fuckers back into office, back into a judge. In fact, you better do everything in your power to have them disbarred. They have no right to dictate national security. It's not their job. It's not and it's the other part that kills me. Black Lives Matter, Antifa, so feminist movement, LGBT movements. You guys need to really wake the fuck up. Oh, let them in. But yet, LGBT community, you're homosexuals. You know what they do to homosexuals? YouTube it. There's still videos all over YouTube about it. Yeah, that's right. They throw them off buildings, stone them, and kill them. That's what you're supporting. That's what you're asking to bring in here. When you can't vet, and that's straight from the Pentagon and other FBI, CIA, they say we cannot properly vet these people. It's just impossible. They keep adapting and changing faster than they can make vetting procedures for it. I mean, all we gotta do is look overseas to our neighbors. What's happening there? They just let them in. They didn't even bother vetting them. I mean, if you want to see that stuff happening here, keep your stuff up. Oh, except for what? That probably won't happen here. What's going to end up happening here is you dumb fucks are just going to cause civil unrest to the point where we'll end up seeing a foreign military on our soil, such as the UN or NATO, because our military will not take up arms against the Americans. They believe in the Constitution. They fight for a Constitution. They bleed and die for it, and their oath is to the Constitution, to us. And I'm proud that they do that. You know what killed me this week? I mean, I thought I'd seen it all. I mean, for one, what the hell is Black Lives Matter showing up for a pride parade? I mean, really? Come on. That just tells everybody you don't have a cause. That tells you you're being paid to do this. Because that has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. In fact, there's blacks that are homosexuals, so, didn't get that one. But what I really didn't get, okay, maybe I can get it a little bit. Almost. No, not even a little bit. I hear the same chanting, the same slogans that we all come to know represents Black Lives Matter, funded and sponsored by Soros, with your chanting and all this. But yet, we'll see these stupid white people in there supporting you because, well, hey, I don't know. They must have been fed a bunch of meth as kids. I mean, something's fried their brains because they're not thinking. If they were thinking, it's like, what the fuck is this? All lives matter. That's what matters. What matters is you're killing good causes. You feminists out there, you're allowing these ideologies that don't even support feminism to silence your cause. When you go around talking about allowing Sharia law in, allowing Muslims in, that are radical, that believe in only one thing, oppression of women. Women are nothing more than slaves that can be used as sex toys, whatever they want. You have no voice, no place. That doesn't sound like the feminine movement to me. Not what I've been taught and learned from other feminists who want equality. There's no equality in Sharia law. Let's get that straight. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, did you guys all drink the Kool-Aid? It's beginning to look like it. Then we have this, damn, videos going around now about Minnesota. This is Africa. You wish. Last time I checked, this is America. And no, I'm no fucking aborigine. I take that as an insult. I take it looking at a dumb, uneducated monkey. You can call me a racist, bigot, whatever the fuck you want. Except for, oh wait, you don't know me. You're ignorant, stupid, following a cause that only wants to promote racism and whatever else they can promote to set something off. Wake the fuck up. I mean, my fucking dogs are smarter than that. And don't get me started on the governor of fucking Virginia. I mean, 93 million Americans die a day. Dude, you really must have took Common Core. I mean, if that's what they're teaching our kids today, I mean, well, fuck, he's not even a kid. He's a grown-ass man that doesn't know how to do math or read statistics. That's 1/3 of America's population that he just said dies a day. Damn. In 3 days, we wouldn't have an America left. But yet, how many idiot people out there believed what he was saying? It's like, oh, well, we need more tougher gun control. Please, more people die of suicide a day. More people die from drunk driving a day than they do from guns. But yet, this is the stuff that CNN wants to promote and other news. Like, oh, what he said is true. They didn't even bother refuting it. They didn't even call him on it. What a joke. This is what our politicians have become. Jokes. Just taking the money and doing as they're told. They're just nothing more than more puppets on a string. Let's not stop there. Let's talk about this left, right, liberal, socialist, libertarian, and all the other dumb terms that we give politicians, that we fall into the ideology that we can't vote any other way. We got to stay to this party. Let me tell you something. If they ain't talking about we the people, for the people, the Constitution, bringing back, make sure our Constitution's upheld and is the rule of law in this land, they have no business being elected into office. You shouldn't be voting for them. You know, I think it's funny. During Obama's presidency, let's talk about Monday Night Football. Football's about to get ready to start. Anyway, let's talk about some football real quick. Remember during Obama's presidency, Hank Jr. got kicked off of Monday Night Football. He removed his song. Why? Because he spoke out against a black president. He used his constitutional right of free speech, and they fired him for it. I'm glad they hired him back, but you know, if I was him, I'd have told him to kiss my ass. Where was you supporting me when I stood up for my constitutional right and spoke my mind? Whether you agreed with it or didn't agree with it, that's my right. But I'm glad to have him back. But I'm also thankful for all you faithful people out there that stopped watching Monday Night Football because of it. That's a good form of protest. You really want to protest? You start hitting them where it hurts the most, their pockets. Start boycotting these things. All these so-called celebrities, stop watching their movies. Stop going to the theater. They've already told you. The film industry has told the American people, well, we get more of our money for overseas, so we cater to them, not the American people. If that's the case, get the fuck out of our country. We don't want your shit. There's plenty of other people who can write movies and stuff. And besides, look at the movie. It's the same old shit just being redone. It kind of gets old after a while. I mean, you don't want to see a movie remade 3 or 4 different times. Still the same as the first. Fuck, it's probably just as shitty as the first. Maybe if some of these actors would spend more time learning how to act, maybe people would actually want to watch your shit. Instead of seeing you in front of our TVs crying, boo-hoo. Because let me tell you something about celebrities and politicians and half the people you see in front of your TV and you watch on your TV, they're going to be the very same motherfuckers that when shit hits the fan, they're going to go to someplace else and you'll never see a hide or hair of them. They're a bunch of cowards. So yes, we can pretty much will guess, oh yes, YouTube, I haven't forgot you either. No, this video is definitely not advertiser friendly. Why? Because I'm tired of you cocksuckers messing with my stuff, messing with my view counts, not sharing my links when I share them. You're censoring me and my free speech. You know what everybody needs to do? Just step away, turn your TVs off, turn your stupid phones off. Enjoy some peace and quiet outside. That's what people need to do. Take a break from all the programming that you're getting, because that's what's happening. You're being psychologically brainwashed. And the other big thing, the biggest publicity stunt of the last 2 weeks has been Alex Jones and Megyn Kelly. Boo-hoo, who cares? I see it for what it is. You're both publicity whores whose ratings are dropping. I wouldn't be surprised if you two didn't sit around a table and concoct this whole scheme up just to increase your ratings because you're... I'm calling it for what it is. Common sense. Obviously, Alex Jones lacks it. Because common sense would have told me, this bitch has done edited my shit once to say something that I never ever said, but she took some clips and videos and edited it. But yet, you invited her to your place. I hope you checked your place for bugs. I mean, I tuned him off a long time ago. Because he's just part of the problem as well. You know, first thing I seen last week on YouTube, in my feeds, which I don't know why, because I haven't listened to his show in almost a year. Not even subscribed to his channel anymore. Civil War in America. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing that word being thrown around too. Because you know what happens, the more you throw it around, the more likely it's to happen. Of course, that's what they all want. I mean, do I need to remind all of you about Alex Jones? What he's publicly said on his own show? If shit ever hit the fan, he's taking his family and going south? That the type of person you want to be supporting? With his fear porn? I mean, how many people are actually talking about real events? Well, I know a bunch of people that are. Yeah, that's right. It's the everyday people that are awake and not falling victims to all this bullshit that everybody else is. You know, maybe we should be more worried about what's happening in Yellowstone. Oh, wait. Newsflash. It's highly active right now. There's been earthquakes. I mean, better yet, Dabu7. Check him out. He's done a couple videos on Yellowstone. In fact, he was the first one I heard break the whole story. I mean, then I guess supposedly Fox may have mentioned it last night or Saturday night. Don't know, don't watch it. You know, it's pretty sad when NASCAR even threw puns at fake news today. They're even getting tired of it. I mean, I've been tired of it. That's why I don't even turn the news on it. Not even local news anymore. What's the point? Oh, you know what? Actually, I do got a point. I just remembered something. The Watauga Democrat did an article. Let me go find it in my tweets. I meant to actually do this on the Sons of Liberty channel. Funny, a small newspaper in Boone, North Carolina, put some real factual truths out there about the Democratic Party. Shouldn't be too hard to find. I'll put the link in the description. I wasn't going to really cover any real things. Just wanted to rant. But hey, this is something good to rant about. This is to all you Black Lives Matter and Obama supporters. WataugaDemocrat.com. Newspaper out of Boone. Walter Williams. Democrats hoodwinking of blacks. Ask any black person with a political party has been black people's political ally. With near unanimity, blacks would answer the Democratic Party. Ask which political party has been hostile to blacks, they'd say the Republican Party with similar unanimity. For better answers, check out Prager's University 5-minute clip, the Inconvenient Truth About the Democratic Party by Carol Swain, professor of political science at Vanderbilt University. Since its founding in the late 1820s, the Democratic Party has defended slavery, started the Civil War, and opposed Reconstruction. The Democratic Party imposed segregation. Its members engaged in lynching of blacks and opposed the Civil Rights Act in the 1950s and 60s. During the Reconstruction, hundreds of black men were elected to southern state legislators as Republicans, and 22 black Republicans served in the U.S. Congress in 1900. The Democratic Party did not elect a black man to Congress until 1935. President Woodrow Wilson was a progressive Democrat and an avowed racist who shared many views with the Ku Klux Klan. He resegregated the Federal Civil Service. He screened the racist film The Birth of a Nation, originally titled The Klansman, at the White House. It was the very first movie ever played at the White House. What was the party of Oval Fathers, the Arkansas governor who blocked the desegregation of Little Rock schools and defied the U.S. Supreme Court's unanimous 1954 Brown versus Board of Education decision? What was the party of Theophilus Eugene Connor, known as Bull Connor, who, as city commissioner, set vicious dogs, firehouses, and billy clubs on black civil rights demonstrators in Birmingham, Alabama? Connor said, "You can never whip these birds if you don't keep you at them separate." I found that out in Birmingham. You've got to keep your white and black separate. If you answered that Phoebus and Connor were Democrats, go to the head of the class. By the way, it was Republican President Dwight D. Eisenhower who sent troops to ensure that black students could attend Little Rock Central High School. Republican, imagine that. What was the political party of Alabama Governor George Wallace, who during the 1960s civil rights movement declared that he stood for segregation now, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever, and blocked black students from entering the University of Alabama? A few years later, the only serious congressional opposition to the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 came from the Democrats. 80% of Republicans in the House of Representatives supported the bill. Less than 70% of the Democrats did. Democrat senators led by ex-Klansman Robert Byrd, 14-hour filibuster, kept the bill tied up for 75 days until Republicans mustered enough votes. Labor unions have always been allied with the Democratic Party and have a history of racism. Most of today's black leaders give unquestioned support to labor unions and their policies that harm black workers. But yesteryear's black leaders saw things different. Frederick Douglass argued that unions were not friendly of blacks. Today, Democrats use diplomacy to hoodwink blacks. They tell blacks to be against those such as Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, who are for school vouchers that enable black parents to get their children out of rotten schools run by Democrats at the National Education Association. Democrats are using black congressmen to go after Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarkey, who is a high-profile conservative champion of law and order and supporter of President Donald Trump. They view Clark as a threat to the Democratic Party's interest. Indeed, if Democrats lost just 25% of the black vote, they would be in deep political trouble. By the way, none of what I have said should be taken as an argument that blacks should rush to become Republicans. I'd like to see the black community acting the way most Japanese and Chinese communities do, not getting into a tizzy over which political party is in power. Walter E. Williams is a professor of economics at George Mason University. I mean, I seen this and read it, it was like, but yet You can't tell anybody this shit. They don't believe you. Even when you quote it from facts. That's my other bitch and gripe. We've let our politicians rewrite our history. We've allowed common core into our schools that have removed most of these teachings why our country was founded and became what it was. You guys become uneducated instead of educated. But let's also keep it real. There are racist Republicans as well. But at least know what your party that you're claiming to support is all about and has been about. I mean, just another puppet on the string that filled the coffers and tricked you. The real irony and sad truth, we're all slaves to the system. They control us because we need health care. We need money to pay for put food on our table, put our medicine, so therefore we got to put ourselves in debt. You can't have credit without being in debt. Because if you don't have credit, you can't get credit. So therefore, you've got to have somebody co-sign to get in debt. You can't keep a credit card unless you use it. You can't apply for a credit card if you don't have no credit. You can't go to the bank and get a loan if you don't have credit. Because you don't exist. You know, what do you think Bitcoin is? It's a social experiment. But newsflash, you're already using it. Those little ID chips that they put in everything now, just another form of a Bitcoin. They're just not calling that it yet. They're just preparing you for a transition. So, without that little chip, I mean, some of you might call it the mark of the beast. Might as well. Because what it is, you're supporting a beast. You're supporting a corporate beast. You guys are just so caught up in everything. You're so caught up in what people are telling you. And let me tell you, some of the people that are telling you things are they're plants. They're puppets, but you're their puppets. Well, this puppet string's being pulled by this person. He's being told what to pull on your strings. What is that? Division, hate, violence, oppression. And if you look at these groups, all of them, the feminist groups, LGBT community, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, all the things that they supposedly stood for, they're slowly killing that voice. And for all of you, said, well, Bernie got robbed. Well, did he? He didn't stand up for himself. He didn't call it for what it was when everybody else said what it was. But now let's look at socialism. Let's look at Venezuela. Yeah, that's what happens with socialism. Every country that's tried socialism has ended up just like Venezuela. There's no country that's ran under socialism and has succeeded. But in fact, that's what most people are being distracted from, looking at all these countries, all the chaos that's going on, the unrest, the political corruption that's being brought up, the fall of governments, the uprising of people. It has been set in an open stage right before your eyes, and you're blind to what's going on. You're too busy getting caught up in left-right paradigms, movements that really had causes. I mean, feminist movement had a cause. The LGBT community had a cause. Black Lives Matter had a cause. Antifa had a cause, but yet when their biggest cause came and went, they were nowhere to be seen at Bilderberg, and that's what they opposed, supposedly. Apparently not anymore. You guys have all gotten played, and you must like it, because you're allowing yourself to repeat the same process over and over. I mean, I don't get it. What happened to common sense? I mean, what happened to being able to think for yourselves? What happened to being able to see right from wrong? I mean, a bunch of you are just a bunch of crybabies anymore. I mean, I see children out there that's got more education than you, and they're just 5, 6, 7, 4 years old. They're smarter than what you guys are acting right now. Of course, here soon they're going to be put in the education system, and they're going to be dumbed down. That's what people of today has become, and this ain't directed towards all of you guys that are awake that see these things. So feel free to tune out or enjoy the laugh, because, quite frankly, it has been funny up until now. Now it's just gotten ridiculous. You know, you'd think people would wake up, but they're not. And, you know, if you look, yeah, it's a bunch of young kids that supposedly, I guess we've seen where our children's college funds went. Yeah, that's right. Definitely not to education. It went towards brainwashing. Like I said, my dogs seems to be smarter than people these days, and that's bad. That's an animal. We're supposed to be above animals. We're supposed to be more intelligent anyway. But hey, I guess it is what it is. But, you know, you can tell people the truth, left it all day long till you're blue in your face, and they're just not going to hear it. The sad part is it's going to take a reality check to slap them in the face for them to be on the other side of the coin to wake up. And some of them may not even wake up then. Because then what happens, it becomes flight or fight. And they're going to choose flight, or they're going to choose, well, this group will protect me as long as I do what they say and adhere to their ideologies and views. I'll be safe. That's flight too, guys. That's because you're too scared to stand up for what you know is right. I tell you what's wrong with this world today. We got too many goddamn followers, and not enough fucking leaders. We got too many marionettes on strings being pulled by puppet masters who are just puppets themselves. Because let me tell you guys something. The most important thing in history that ever happened to this country was the Civil War. We learned a valuable lesson. We never want that to ever be repeated in this country or see it repeated in any country. Here's a statistic for you. Let's go back to the Virginia governor. Here's one for you. Do your research on what happened over in Cambodia. Of a genocide of 1.3 million people. It took a year to kill that many people. Kind of makes your 93 million a day statistic look very far-fetched. I mean, 93 million, we don't even see that in wars. But yet, people out there are going to believe what he said. Why? Because he's a politician, said it in front of the camera, in front of CNN, Fox, and whoever else picked it up and reported it and never refuted it. I mean, it was funny up until you started seeing people say, yeah, we need tougher guns. For real? No, we need less restriction on guns. Because let me tell you the truth on that one. And this is, you can ask any strategist, tactician, they'll tell you why this country has never been invaded. It's because people got guns. They would lose half their army in the first day trying to even get a foothold. Of course, you know, we got cities like California, New York, Chicago would probably just let them in and let them have it. And, you know, that falls back on you guys. You keep putting these stupid politicians in office. You know, you want change, run for office. Find people in your community that support and believe in the Constitution, believe it should be the law of this land. I mean, that's what the America stood for, was the Constitution. That's why people wanted to come here, to have the freedoms that we supposedly have, that we claim to cherish, claim to, you know, and I'm not even going to get started on that one, because I've already did that little scenario topic, and it pissed so many people off, they didn't want to hear it. Well, of course, that's why I titled it, you want the truth, you can't handle the truth. And that's the problem. Most people claim they want the truth, but when they get the truth, they can't handle it. The truth is, nobody wants to know that they've been lied to, deceived, tricked, used, manipulated. They don't want to know the fact that they're slaves to a system. They don't want to realize the causes that they believe in and that had voice. These causes had voice. They had a meaning and a purpose. No longer have that meaning or purpose because you got all these idiots out there destroying that. You know, is there still racism in this world? Yes. Is it what it, but it is nowhere near what it used to be. Well, we did have 8 years where it just cropped up and reared its ugly little head and was shoved down everybody's throat. But nobody questioned that and why it was happening. They just said, oh, it's been like that. No, it hasn't. I mean, I grew up in the 80s and 90s and some of the 2000s, and, well, like I said, up until that 8-year stretch, it was getting better. It was, you know, it wasn't what it was after when we had that 8-year period. And I was happy to see, finally, a black man become a president. And, wow, not so much anymore. I wish it was somebody else. A black man that represented we the people for the people, represented what the civil rights movement was about, what equality was about. not somebody that crammed racism down our throat. You know, yeah, we all got a little bit hoodwinked over that one. But that's okay, because hopefully 15, 20 years from now, people will forget that little incident, and we can have somebody that knows the true value of equality, equal rights for everyone. We're all the same. We're all Americans. Color has no meaning here in America. Never has. I mean, it used to. Back in the day. Way back in the day. We've gotten past that. I mean, yeah, there's some hate groups. There's always going to be. There's always bad apples. You know, just like, I don't blame every cop for one cop's for being a bad apple. Because there's too many good cops out there that believe in that oath they took to serve and protect. I mean, we see it time and time. They're putting their lives on the line. But here's my message to you guys, and I'll say it over and over again. Police your own. Call it for what it is. If they don't, quit sticking up to the bad apples. Put them out there. Demand that they be charged and tried and they should be held even to a higher standard, because they are in a sense, they hold an office of trust. We trust them to protect our lives, protect our constitutional rights, our liberties, our freedoms. We also trust them to let us know when we're being stupid. You know, when we get behind that wheel of the car, when we had one too many to drink, and we shouldn't be behind that wheel. You know? And that's the other problem. Maybe it's time we start putting ourselves in other people's shoes for a bit before we're so quick to judge. I'm going to tell you right now, hate and violence is not the answer. It's what they want us to be doing. And when we start doing what they want, we are falling victims to a very dangerous road. A road that once you get on, and enough people get on it, which, believe it or not, I'll tell you right now, we've already passed the point of no return. Because now it becomes on us. We have to make the change. When I say us, I'm not referring to the people that are awake. We already know better. We already know we already know. It's out of our hands. It's you idiots out there that's been brainwashed under these puppets. You guys are the ones that get around your strings to be pulled. You guys need to start making the change. Start waking up. Seeing it for what it is. And stepping back. The more that you guys start stepping away from this, calling it for what it was, denouncing these things, only you guys can get us off this road we're on. We're just along for the ride, watching how it's going to play out. Because we can't tell you anything. You don't listen. You believe the lies that you've been fed, and you can't tell you no different. You believe that you got educated, but yet, like I said, children that aren't in school yet are more educated than you are. That's the reality of things. You know, to all you parents out there, yeah, you might want to just pull your kids out of school and homeschool them, because, quite frankly, we don't want them getting the education that they're getting, that these last few generations got. You know, I don't get people today. I really don't. I mean, especially these people that believe in these causes, but yet want to allow Sharia law in, want to oppose a travel ban that's protecting our country, that's protecting your so-called movements, because this ideology that they want to bring here completely oppresses your movements. All of them. We need to put an end to corporate lobbyists. They have no place in our government. And if you are a corporation, and you run your corporation here out of the United States, it is long overdue that you're held accountable to our laws and Constitution. Our Constitution needs to apply to corporations that run their businesses here. Why? That protects us. That keeps them from being able to do what they've done all these years. And even more so since our Supreme Court failed us when they said a corporation is not bound by the Constitution because it is not a United States citizen, even though it may reside here in the United States. So therefore, and this is the thing about laws, when they argue a case like this, and they say the Constitution don't apply because they're not, you just open the door for them to do what they want as they please, even though the ruling was about money going for politicians and campaigns. They could fund as much as they want because the laws didn't apply to them. When you stated that, you opened the door for what we're seeing now, for people like George Soros to sponsor Black Lives Matters, Antifa, other corporations. That's why our news medias have become what they become. They're politically aligned to one side and will do anything and everything to oppose the other side. Why? Because they're not bound by the Constitution. They're a corporation. I mean, maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe it's time we play the same game. We just create a corporation. If we run a corporation, we're not bound by the Constitution according to the Supreme Court. Maybe it's time we start using their tactics against them. See how they like it. See how quick they change those laws. Food for thought. Because sometimes we got to play by their rules to get change to happen. I mean, that's why when it comes to like guerrilla warfare, we always get our asses kicked. Why? Because we follow conventional rules of engagement instead of adapting what they're doing and doing it to them. Because what that is, it's just a form of fear. You can instill fear into a group. You can control that group. You strip that group of the ability to fully protect themselves, fully be able to engage and conquer their enemy. You got to take the gloves off sometimes. Sometimes you got to get dirty. Sometimes you got to play by the very rules that are oppressing you and use them against the oppressors. And I don't mean violence and hate. There's other ways to do it. Like I said, I just named one. Maybe it's time we start forming our own corporations. There's other, or as I stated earlier, start boycott. Stop going to these movies. Stop going to certain events. I mean, I know people used to do it. They used to, boycott certain things and not buy products. It's time to start doing that. If everybody would just, you get so tired of the censorship, and it would take everybody though. Don't log into Facebook for a week. Don't log into YouTube. Don't use a search. Turn your phones off. You would see a change, especially if people did it longer than a week, because now you're starting to hurt their pockets. It's all about money, guys. It's all about money, because money can be used to control you. Well, because they're a corporation, our constitutional rights don't apply, so they can tell us, well, you can't say that, but this person can say that. Well, I don't get that part either. Why can this group of people say this, but I can't? I don't get it. Don't make sense. Oh, that's right, because they're preaching hate. They're preaching division. That's what you want. You don't want people like me coming up here teaching you another way or telling you the truths. So therefore, I'm the bad guy now. Funny how the good guy's always the bad guy. Even though the bad guy's still the bad guy. In the public's eye. And, like I said, as far as these stupid politicians go, they want to keep doing these committees. Well, maybe it's time they get investigated for all these leaks that keep happening. Guess what? Stuff that was classed as confidential, classified, that has been leaked, they just committed a crime. It's called treason. And they should be charged as such. They should be charged with obstruction. Because when you leak information like that, you're obstructing a investigation. Let me tell you something. America could be really great again if the politicians would just do their job and let this country grow, get rid of Common Core, get these jobs into these communities that need it, redo the education system in these communities that need a good education system. That gets the people off the streets. It gets them out of the gangs, because now they got potential for a future. But you don't hear them crying about that. You don't hear Black Lives Matter crying about that. You don't hear them crying about black on black. Here's a little statistical truth for you. There's more blacks and Hispanics in prison than there is whites and Asians. The system's flawed. There's something wrong. Why is this? Nobody asked that question. Our laws need to be redone and changed, especially the laws that violate our Bill of Rights and constitutional rights. And the states that are allowing this to happen need to be held accountable. I'm all for good causes and stuff. I'm not so much for causes that go to other countries when we got our own problems here. We've got a homeless population in this country that is out of control. We've got our vets need better medical. The VA system has become a joke to our vets. I know a lot of vets who won't even use their VA because they can get a better health care off bullshit-ass Obama plan. Because at least they can go right to the hospital right then and get treated. Instead of have to wait, then get spun, or their documents get lost, or there's a waiting list. Come back 3 months from now. You know, why aren't our vets having opportunity at good jobs? Oh, wait, that's right. Right. The Patriot Act kind of screwed that up for them. You know, but we got a middle class that's been cut in half that are now poor and borderline on homeless. That's why our homeless population is out of control right now. But you don't hear all these groups, so-called organization groups, pointing out that fact. You know, we got states like California that would rather spend, what, 2 point some billion on immigration when they got a homeless epidemic that's out of this world. Oh no, the American homeless not even their concern. They rather worry about illegal immigrants and giving all this money there, where you got real American citizens that need that support, not illegals. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what I truly think, because the fact is, what I truly think is, shit, I'm just about ready to say, fuck you all, grab some drinks, and just watch this show play out, and watch you guys all fuck it up. Because you'll be the very ones come crying, begging for help, begging for sanctuary. And you might find out the cold reality of things, that there will be none to be found. Because people are getting sick of it. People are tired of it. I'm tired of going to fucking Facebook, Twitter, and just seeing the bullshit. Educate yourself. If you're going to spend all that time on your damn phone, iPad, computer, do some research. Start finding out who's donating all this money to these causes that you're supporting. Start restudying history. Start studying the founding of this country. You can still find it on the internet. Start fact-checking some of the stuff you're hearing on the news. I mean, you're spending all that time on your phone. Educate yourself. And don't go to Wikipedia. It's not a form of education. It's not even a form of truthful facts. It's not a reliable source, and that's from the academia community. It says that. I mean, it used to be you weren't even allowed to do a college paper using Wikipedia sources. I guess now you can, because it's quite apparent that some of you that's what you've been using, because you don't know your history. You don't know your facts. You're just quoting something you've seen on Wikipedia and not realizing that anybody can edit it. And there's certain groups on there that are posting half-truths and saying it's factual and not allowing people to re-edit and correct it. I've done videos on that. But that's okay. I'll be able to start redoing videos on that here in 2 weeks when my IP address becomes unbanned. No, I haven't forgotten that. I just haven't been able to do anything with it because I can't get on Wikipedia right now. How's that for censorship? Just like today, something else happened in London. The first reports I heard was, it's pretty much, they were saying it was what we become used to hearing. And I caught a report that came up on Yahoo that said something a little bit different. And if it is it turns out to be factual, oh man, they just got what they wanted. That's what they've been trying to do. You think you're under strict security now? I mean, sometimes it is what it is. I mean, eventually people do get tired, but that's what they're wanting. They want you to get tired till you act out and do something stupid. Then they can use you as an example and take everyone's rights and liberties and freedoms away. See, we're caught in a catch-22. That's the sad reality of it all. They want us to act out. They want us to do something stupid so they can come in and strip all of our liberties and freedoms away. Then you'll find out that you think it's bad now, it can get a lot worse. I mean, yes, I say we're slaves now. It can be a lot worse. At least we have some conceptions of freedom, of liberty. But all that can be taken away in a blinking of an eye with one civil unrest. One group that manages to piss off another group so bad that they cause such a disturbance where other people start joining in, it starts going like a chain reaction, and they've got what they want, and that is exactly what they want. They want us to be what they want, what's happening in Venezuela, Brazil, to be happen here and these other countries that still have some idea of freedoms and liberties. They wanted everything in chaos. They want it to the point, basically, we're a bunch of kegs of black powder, and they're just holding the match. Matter of fact, they've given matches out to a bunch of individuals, just hoping that one of them will get a strike off and will set the powder off. Then they win, and we lose everything. That's the reality we're facing. In the end, it's like I said, it's like I titled this, People today need to really, really wake up. We need to wake up faster than what most of us, it took us to wake up to. Because we're not the solution right now. Unfortunately, you guys are the blind sheeple. Until you wake up, we're just along for the ride while you keep screwing it up, doing what your masters are pulling your strings to do. Maybe I gotta take the gloves completely off and just be completely unpolitically correct about it. I guess maybe that's the only way some of you guys get it. I'm not trying to do that because I want to respect my other viewers. But at the same time, I know they're getting tired of it too. I mean, yeah, we can sit back and laugh about it for a while, but eventually it's not funny. It's losing its humor. I mean, it's lost its humor a while back, but occasionally you find something funny to laugh about. But then it gets to a point where that's not even funny anymore. So, I mean, you guys got some thinking to do. You guys got some waking up to do. I mean, if you want to keep going down this road, hey, I'm just going to pour me a drink and sit back and watch. Because, hey, when you guys completely finally screw this up, hey, at least I know I'm prepared. I know I'm safe. I know where I'm going. You know, that's why I've been enjoying the last couple of weeks of having crappy internet. Can't tune into things, but then again, I can't do the things I want to do with you guys on the other two channels. This is, like I said, this is now my backup channel. Although I think I'm going to keep my ramblings of a chaotic mind here. It's just fun, and I need the time to be able to come someplace and vent, where I don't have to worry about, pissing off some of my viewers because I just went way over the top, and they're not used to that. So it's kind of nice having a backup channel just to come on and just vent. Because, quite frankly, I think everybody just needs to vent a bit. You know, and this is a perfect platform to do it. I mean, people find out. I mean, I enjoy listening to some people vent. It's funny. It's like, I can relate. And it just gets it out of their system. Because, I mean, we're bombarded with so much shit every day. We don't get a break from it. I mean, I'm lucky I get a break from it because I go outside. I got plenty of stuff to do outside that takes me away from this and away from everything else. I get lost in my work. But I also get lost in my work when I'm doing this. If there was any drawback of me creating the Sons and Daughters of Liberty, it was the fact that I had to tune in a little bit more to this bullshit. Which is cool. I like it. Like I said, I like chaos. Chaos promotes growth. It makes you question things. It makes you step outside the box and think, view other people's opinions and views. So, nothing wrong with a little bit of chaos. But when it gets too much, yeah, sometimes you just gotta vent it. Sometimes you just gotta say whatever comes to your mind and just let it flow. If it offends someone, so be it. You can't please everyone. And then 9 times out of 10, if you offended them, it's probably because what you said happened to hit real close to home. It happened to be a little bit of truth that they just didn't want to accept. And the other part could be, well, you just went a little too far. And you can. I've been known to go a little too far from time to time. But I got good friends that'll tell me, hey, dude, you just kind of overstepped your boundaries there. And I'm man enough to come back if I did, apologize for it, and say I was wrong. You know, that's the thing about emotions. And emotions are the biggest weapon we can use that gets used against us and that we use it against others. When we trigger those emotions in other people, it causes a reaction. And it's usually the reaction that we didn't want. For most people. But then that's when you should set back and be open-minded and say, whoa, wait, why did I get such a reaction off that? Why did that trigger me? is the real question I should be asking myself, or you should be asking yourself. So it goes back to what I've been saying throughout any of the channels done videos for, do videos for. You guys gotta start learning to question everything. Everything. You gotta question everything you thought you were taught. Everything that you've been told that was true. You gotta re-question everything. And that sucks. But been there, done that, don't ever want to do it again. Because the cold reality of it is, we've been told and said a lot of bullshit. And, I hate to say it, you still gotta do it. Even after you become aware and awake, you still gotta question everything. It just don't hurt as much, and you're quicker to realize things like, oh yeah, wait, no, there's something wrong there. But until you guys wake up and quit being these marionettes on the string, you guys are in for a very rude awakening. One, people are getting tired of it. They're getting tired of it quick, and that's not good either. Because that's falling into what they want us to do. And truthfully, guys, I don't have an answer for you. I don't think anybody does. I'm not liking the answers I'm hearing. Because the last thing we want to do is go back and repeat history. Because this time around, it'd be far worse. Because that's how bad the division is. I mean, it'd be far, far worse. We're more divided than they were in the Civil War. And that is a problem. Like I said, I mean, I have no problem sitting here just watching it all unfold. I'm not going to. It's not me. But at a point, you can't keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. I don't care how many different ways you find to say it, it still means the same thing, and it's still having the same effect. Nothing. And that's not entirely true, guys. And that's for the ones that are awake, that are doing what I've been doing, even more than I've been doing. You are reaching people. Your message is being heard. You're waking people up every day. It's just not the numbers and the volumes we want to see. It never is. Like I've always said, I might not get the views on these videos, I might not get the subscribers, but I tell you what, I know at least one of my videos has reached one person and changed their life. And you know what? That's all that matters. There's one person that's not going to repeat the mistakes I made. It's not going to get caught up in this false ideology that everybody else seems to be locked in. I have woken one person up. Yes, I'd like to be more, but hey, I can live with just one. And eventually somebody else is going to stumble across one of my videos or one of my articles I've written or one of my blogs somewhere on the net, and it's going to waken them up. I might not ever know about it. But hey, I did my job. I did my part. As a good mentor of mine has told me, and I'm starting to practice it more and more. You can't help those that don't want help. You might give them a little time. Know when to let go. Know when to walk away. Because, quite frankly, a lot of people don't want help. They're not going to want it until they hit rock bottom and there's nowhere else to go. So they got to face the cold, hard fact and reality. I know, I was one of them. That's why I kind of enjoy the new platforms that I'm on and doing the things I'm doing, if I can, just prevent one person from making some of the mistakes I made, that person will have a better life than I had. Hopefully. Because I've had a good life. I mean, I've met a lot of interesting people. Unfortunately, it took some bad events and bad choices. Fortunately, I had to take the hard road, long road, to get where I am. And, not proud of it, but it has made me who I am today. And I'm proud of the person I've become today. I'm proud to say I'm American. Still proud to say I'm American. Still proud to believe in a constitution that no one else really believes in, at least not our politicians. Still believe it stands for something more than a piece of paper. But yeah, I've rambled on way too long. And I'm sure I'm going to catch heat for a certain comment that I made earlier. But I don't care. Because the simple fact is, I'm tired of being called a white piece of trash racist. When one, you don't know me. Two, I have nothing to be ashamed of. And three, I don't care what color you are, I still love you. You're still a human being. It's not my fault you choose to allow a word to have power over you if you haven't grown up. And to see the very sad fact that we give words too much power over us, well then you need to go back and re-educate yourself. In fact, you need to go back and remember the little child. I was saying, we used to say as kids, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. It's kind of a good proverb, guys. Because that's what you're doing. You're giving words power over you, to control you. Like I said in that poem, my weapon's always been my words. My words and my pen. The pen is far deadlier than the sword or a bullet. Why? Because people haven't learned not to give such things power. Not to allow such things to trigger them. And everyone does it. Even me, and I preach it. Don't do it. But I catch myself when it happens. I'm aware. And I quickly resolve the issue so it no longer happens. At least not with a word again. Because we're not perfect. Not one of us is perfect. That's good to strive to be. But we also gotta face facts and reality. We'll never be. Why? That's the beauty of having free choice. Free will. Perfection only exists in a being that has no will or free choice. Because then everything is one-sided. But that's enough for rambling for the chaotic mind. I've rambled on way too long. I got it out of my system. I'm good to go for the week. And who knows, maybe you guys got some laughs out of this. Or maybe it made you think some more. I don't know. It was more of me with just a rant. That's all I cared about. If I wake some people up by doing so, even better. If not, hey, I got it out of my system. Well, till the next time I decided to pop in here and do Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind. Like I said, that's the only thing I'll ever be posting on here anymore. Or occasionally I might get on and hit you with some of the poetry I've written over the years, like I did earlier. You might be amazed to find out some of the things I've written. But you guys have a safe work week. Take a break from things, guys. Tune out. Enjoy some nature. Enjoy some time with your friends. Discussing anything but the shit that's going on. You might find it refreshing, and if you can't get the time, if you're going to be on your devices all the time, get on there, do a video, or just rant. Don't care what you say. Don't worry about what you say. Don't worry about what anybody thinks. In fact, turn your comments off. Just rant and let it out there. Free yourself from so much baggage you're carrying. You'll feel good afterwards. I know I did. I know I am. You guys have fun.